In the quiet suburbs of Perris, California, a family lived behind closed doors, hidden from the world's scrutiny. But what unfolded within those walls would shock the nation and shed light on a dark reality that few could fathom. This is the story of the Turpin family, a tale of secrecy, abuse, and the resilience of the human spirit. David and Louise Turpin seemed like an ordinary couple, raising their 13 children in a seemingly typical suburban home. However, behind the facade of normalcy lay a horrifying truth. A truth that would come to light in a moment of courage and desperation. David Allen Turpin, born to Betty and James Turpin on October 17, 1961, in Princeton, West Virginia, hailed from a devoutly religious family and experienced a typical upbringing. During his time at Princeton High School, he actively participated in various extracurricular activities such as the Bible Club, Chess Club, Science Club, and a cappella chorus. Following his high school graduation, David enrolled in Virginia Tech University in Blacksburg, Virginia, where he pursued a degree in electrical engineering. Renowned for his brilliance in computer engineering, he later secured positions at prestigious defense technology companies like Northrop Grumman and Lockheed Martin. In contrast, Louise Anna Turpin entered the world on May 24, 1968, in Princeton, West Virginia, as the eldest among 6 siblings born to Phyllis and Wayne Robinette. Wayne, a preacher, and Phyllis, who also worked as a Walmart cashier while singing in the church choir, provided the backdrop for Louise's upbringing. The childhood of the Robinette children was extremely distressing. Wayne and Phyllis frequently disagreed, leading to a harsh treatment of their children. From a young age, Louise, her sisters, and her mother endured sexual abuse from a family member. Teresa, Louise's sister, revealed that this traumatic experience was a significant, unspoken secret within the family. Elizabeth, Louise's younger sister, later revealed to People magazine that Louise fiercely shielded her younger siblings. She described Louise as gentle, compassionate, and nurturing, striving to comfort them amidst their parents' intense conflicts and shield them from their predatory relative. When Louise was 15 years old, she encountered David Turpin, 22, at church, sparking a romantic connection between them. Fearful of how Louise's parents would react, they chose to keep their relationship clandestine. Upon discovering the truth, Phyllis, Louise's mother, eventually accepted their bond, influenced by David's upbringing in a devout Christian family and Louise's assurances. However, they opted to conceal their relationship from Wayne, Louise's father, aware of the potential fury it would provoke from him. In January 1985, David, aged 23, visited Princeton High School, his alma mater from 5 years prior, where Louise was currently enrolled. Through persuasion, he convinced the school staff to allow him to remove Louise from class. Willingly, Louise accompanied David out of school, embarking on a journey southward with plans to elope. Upon realizing Louise's absence, her parents notified the authorities. Before authorities could intercept them, the couple had already reached Texas, intending to marry in secret. Surprisingly, they acquiesced to returning to West Virginia without resistance. Upon their return, the couple anticipated Wayne and Phyllis's wrath, yet were met with surprising calmness. Initially, Wayne directed his anger towards Phyllis for permitting their daughter's relationship with David. However, he eventually recognized the challenge of separating two deeply in love. Consequently, Wayne consented to their marriage, which took place in a modest ceremony in Perrysburg, Virginia, on February 11, 1985. 2 years later, Wayne and Phyllis parted ways, with Wayne assuming the role of Chief Deputy Assessor for Mercer County. Following their marriage, Louise began to distance herself from her family. Freed from her parents' strictures, she eagerly embraced a life of autonomy and happiness. In 1988, Louise welcomed their first child, a daughter, followed by another addition 18 months later in 1990. Subsequently, David's job transfer with General Dynamics prompted the family's relocation to Fort Worth, Texas, settling in the modern neighborhood of Meadow Creek. With David's lucrative income, the Turpin family enjoyed a lavish lifestyle. Eager to showcase her newfound prosperity, Louise extended an invitation to her family from West Virginia to visit. Having grown up without financial abundance, Louise seized the opportunity to exhibit her current success. David and Louise generously covered the expenses, including travel and accommodations, for their family's visit. In 1991, the Turpin family welcomed another addition, a son, further enriching their lives. By 1992, despite David's substantial six-figure earnings, the Turpin family found themselves deeply entrenched in debt. However, this financial strain didn't hinder their extravagant lifestyle or deter them from expanding their family. In 1993, Louise discovered she was expecting their third child, a girl. As was customary, Louise's family visited the Turpin household annually, unaware of the financial difficulties looming over them. Determined to maintain appearances, Louise assumed all financial responsibilities for her family's visit, shielding them from the harsh reality of their financial woes. In 1994, the eldest daughter of the Turpin family embarked on her first-grade journey at Meadow Creek Elementary, presenting herself with greasy and disheveled hair, soiled attire, and a noticeable lack of regular hygiene. These visible indicators hinted at the neglectful treatment she received from her parents. Unfortunately, her appearance subjected her to ridicule from peers who taunted her for her uncleanliness. In 1995, the Turpin family welcomed another addition, a son. The subsequent year, the family of 6 embarked on a vacation to visit Louise's family. Despite their precarious financial situation, the Turpin family appeared unconcerned and continued to spend lavishly, treating their relatives to expensive dining experiences. In 1996, Louise's sister, Elizabeth, accompanied the Turpin family back to Fort Worth for the summer holidays. During their return journey, the family made a stop at a casino in Louisiana. Louise entrusted Elizabeth with the care of the children, while she and David indulged in gambling, urging her to keep their activities secret. Elizabeth was taken aback by Louise's behavior, as their Christian upbringing had instilled in them the belief that gambling was morally wrong. Unfortunately, their gambling venture resulted in losses, sparking a heated argument between David and Louise. David accused Louise of having a gambling problem and blamed her for their financial setback. While staying at the Turpin household, Elizabeth was startled to discover the family's unsettling dynamics. David and Louise displayed a distinct lack of affection towards their children, and strict control permeated every aspect of the children's lives. Even basic activities like using the bathroom or having a meal required permission from the Turpin couple. Additionally, Elizabeth found David's behavior particularly disturbing, as he would intrude on her privacy by entering the bathroom and watching her while she showered, a habit that left her feeling uneasy and uncomfortable. In May 1997, the Turpin family welcomed their 5th child. By September of the same year, concerns regarding the hygiene of the eldest daughter escalated, coupled with troubling indications that suggested possible instances of sexual abuse. Consequently, she was brought to the principal's office to discuss her home life, though no subsequent action was taken to address the matter. In 1998, the family expanded once again with the arrival of their 6th child. Despite David's lucrative job, the family's finances continued to deteriorate due to their regular gambling habits, leading to significant financial strain. In the spring of 1999, the eldest daughter ceased attending school, followed by the other children, as Louise and David claimed they were being homeschooled. By late 1998, the Fort Worth home was foreclosed upon by the bank, prompting the Turpin family to relocate to Rio Vista, Texas, a less populated area. However, their new residence was maintained in a deplorable state, which undoubtedly disgusted the new owners upon moving in. The house was marred by dirt, stains, and emitted a foul odor, leading the new occupants to suspect the presence of excrement. Before moving to the Rio Vista house, the Turpin family welcomed their 7th child. Between 2001 and 2007, the Turpin family expanded their household with the addition of 5 more children. As neglect escalated, the Turpin parents resorted to physical abuse, including slapping, choking, and whipping their children with belts, often for trivial reasons such as not seeking permission to use the restroom. Shockingly, the children were permitted to bathe only once a year. Despite purchasing appetizing food, David and Louise cruelly denied their children access to it, and forcing them to endure starvation while taunting them with the sight of the untouched meals. Instead, the children were fed inexpensive frozen food, resulting in severe malnutrition, evidenced by stunted growth, pallid complexions, and a youthful appearance disproportionate to their actual ages. The lack of socialization and psychological abuse further hindered their cognitive development. In 2004, the Turpin family relocated to an upscale trailer, abandoning the Rio Vista house due to its deplorable condition, characterized by accumulated garbage and deceased rodents, rendering it uninhabitable. In 2008, during a conversation with her sister Teresa, 40-year-old Louise divulged startling revelations that left Teresa utterly shocked. Louise confessed that she and David no longer attended church, a stark departure from their upbringing in devout Christian households. Instead, the Turpin couple had turned their focus towards Satanism and engaged in activities involving Ouija boards. Louise went on to disclose their participation in swinging, a lifestyle involving extramarital sexual encounters with other couples. Shockingly, they would leave their younger children at home under the supervision of the older ones while they met strangers they had encountered online for these encounters. It became apparent that Louise was the primary participant in these activities, with David supporting her endeavors by providing transportation and waiting for her during these encounters. Teresa was deeply troubled by the drastic transformation of her once caring and responsible sister into someone unrecognizable. The Turpin family relocated to Murrieta, where they made frequent visits to Disneyland, capturing countless joyful family moments dressed in matching attire. Louise ensured these pictures were sent to her family, with whom she had ceased communication via Skype and restricted access to the children. These photos served as the sole reassurance to Louise's family that the children were seemingly in good spirits, despite appearing thin. It became apparent that the Turpin couple harbored an obsession with Disneyland, evident in their repeated visits, and the emphasis placed on documenting these experiences through photographs. In 2014, the Turpin family made a move to Perris, California, situated approximately 20 miles north of Marietta. By this point, the abuse inflicted upon the children had escalated to extreme levels of violence. David and Louise resorted to restraining the children to their beds using ropes, and if any escape attempt was made, they would replace the ropes with chains and padlocks. The children endured confinement within their room for approximately 20 hours each day, subjected to the oppressive stench that permeated the air. In 2015, the family welcomed their 13th and final edition. Shortly thereafter, the entire family embarked on a trip to Las Vegas to commemorate the 30th wedding anniversary of David and Louise. The couple opted to renew their vows at the Elvis Chapel, marking the occasion with a celebration that starkly contrasted with the reality of their abusive treatment towards their children. Faced with the relentless horrors of her situation, the 17-year-old girl made a courageous decision to seek help by reporting the abuse to the authorities. In a daring act, she escaped through a window and swiftly contacted the police using her phone. During the harrowing 20-minute call to 911, she recounted in detail the appalling living conditions and the myriad abuses endured by her and her siblings. Equipped with photographic evidence of their dire circumstances, she awaited the arrival of law enforcement. When the police reached the scene, they were confronted with a frail and emaciated figure, resembling a child no more than 10 years old. Presenting the damning photos of the house's interior, the girl guided the police to the front door, where a bewildered Louise stood, unaware of the impending revelation of the family's dark secrets. As soon as the police stepped into the house, they were assaulted by a foul and nauseating odor that made it nearly impossible to breathe through their noses. Despite the overwhelming stench, they pressed forward and made a shocking discovery. 3 of the younger children were shackled to their beds. The entire house was engulfed in filth and littered with garbage, with the children deprived of access to basic necessities such as restroom facilities. Acting swiftly, the police escorted the younger children to the Riverside University Medical Center, while the adult children were taken to the Corona Regional Medical Center for evaluation and care. On January 14, 2018, authorities apprehended David and Louise Turpin on suspicion of committing acts of child abuse and torture. Just 4 days later, the couple faced a litany of charges, with each of them being accused of 12 counts of torture, 7 counts of abusing a dependent adult, 6 counts of child abuse and neglect, and 12 counts of false imprisonment. Additionally, David Turpin faced an additional charge of engaging in a lewd act with a child under the age of 14. Among the children, the 2-year-old stood out as the sole one without any visible signs of abuse or torture. In addition to the mentioned abuses, the Turpin couple subjected the children to further cruelty, such as throwing them downstairs, resulting in nerve damage from prolonged physical mistreatment. Additionally, the children lacked fundamental life knowledge, including basic understanding of medicine. Despite purchasing toys, the Turpin couple prohibited the children from playing with them. Furthermore, the children were forced to stay awake until the early hours of the morning, typically until 4 or 5 a.m., and were not permitted to go to bed before then. On January 24, 2018, the judge imposed a restriction on David and Louise, preventing them from interacting with the children for 3 years, with communication allowed only through their legal representation. Subsequently, on June 21, 2018, the evidence presented was deemed substantial enough to warrant a trial for the Turpin couple. Finally, on February 22, 2019, David and Louise altered their pleas, both pleading guilty to a total of 14 charges, including torture, abuse of a dependent adult, false imprisonment, and child endangerment. During the court proceedings, the parents had a heartfelt reunion with their children. Based on the children's statements, it appeared that all of them had forgiven their parents and harbored feelings of love towards them. Each individual expressed their desire for their parents' well-being and conveyed that they were thriving in their respective lives. David and Louise, visibly emotional, offered sincere apologies for their past actions and expressed their deep love for their children, wishing them success in life. Subsequently, the Turpin couple received a sentence of life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 25 years. As of March 2022, Louise, aged 53, is eligible for parole in 2037, while David, aged 60, is also eligible for parole in the same year. The revelations of abuse and neglect within the Turpin household sent shockwaves through the community and beyond, leaving us questioning how such horrors could have remained hidden for so long. In the aftermath, the community rallied together to support the survivors, offering them hope and healing as they embarked on the long road to recovery. The Turpin family story serves as a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance, compassion, and the responsibility we all bear to protect the most vulnerable among us. If you found this video compelling, leave a like, and your thoughts in the comments. Be sure to subscribe and check out our other videos.